I believe that the fitness industry is heading for a crisis in the same way that I believe the music and the film industries are in fact already in crisis. And the root cause is essentially the same. You still have great stuff out there, complexity and creativity, but they are increasingly being pushed aside in favor of these dumbed down products which can be marketed globally to the masses. Okay, so when we turn on the radio these days, what we hear, it's very generic. It's actually less creative, less diverse than what we would have heard 50 years ago. And when we go to the cinema these days, I don't know about you, I'm often underwhelmed by the selection because I feel like I've seen half of it before. It's all these remakes and franchises. I'm not sure exactly what I'm paying for. Now, fitness, I think everyone can see with their own eyes the way things are heading. And if you lack a frame of reference, let me give you a few. If you compare the way that old school strongmen used to train in Europe 100 years ago, or the way that the Pahlevans in Iran's Zurkhane have trained from centuries ago, or the wrestlers in India's Akharas, and you compare that with what takes place in today's fitness centers, in our gyms, what you are seeing is a massive regression in movement quality and complexity. And I know there will be people who say, hey, look, well, today's different, okay? We work in very sedentary jobs behind desks. We need to make our workouts easy so that people can do them. And I gotta be very careful how I respond to that. As a movement coach, I would say, yes, movement is almost always better than no movement. But at the same time, when we regress movements to repetitive, very limited range of motion, linear repetitions, we are also taking massive risks. And there's two things I want to talk about in particular today. One of them is physical preparedness, and the other one is mental health. Okay, what's the purpose of it all? Why even go and work out? The guiding philosophy for me has always been the words of the great French physical educator Georges Hébert, who said about 100 years ago, être fort pour être utile. Be strong to be useful. Such a simple and yet powerful sentiment, and I think it's something which should guide all of us. Okay, now if you are only training very simple linear movements, if you actually had to react in a real world situation and help somebody else or help yourself, you might find you're not as useful as you might have imagined. What you've essentially done is practiced a bunch of bodybuilding movements, not functional movements. Okay, if that's a little too abstract for you, I know it's 2026 and we barely need to move in the real world these days. Let me give you something else to think about, and that's mental health. Why did we evolve such complex brains? Now, there's basically two reasons. The first is what I'm doing right now. It was to facilitate communication. But the second was to facilitate complex movement. Not simplified movement, extremely complex movement. So if the workouts you're doing are so easy that you can actually watch TV at the same time you're doing them, well, my friend, you're not exactly fulfilling your evolutionary destiny. What you are doing is creating a disconnect between mind and body, and that can only ever have negative outcomes. So what does it come down to? It comes down to this, okay? If you're just getting into fitness, or if you're a little bored with your current routine, okay? Do the basics, yes, absolutely, and use that to build your confidence, okay? And then keep on going out there and challenging yourself, okay? Do something which really stimulates you. Learn how to fight, learn to wrestle, learn to box, learn how to climb mountains, learn how to free dive, learn how to juggle. Make sure you do something which engages your brain 100% while you are doing it, okay? Reject this dumbed down vision of fitness that's being sold to you, okay? Because the biggest risk is not that you try something difficult and you struggle or you have a hard time with it, okay? The biggest risk is that you never challenge yourself at all. Okay, that's my rant over. Get out there and win, guys.